Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Hello and welcome to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Podcast Network. Hope you've been having a great week. I have actually been doing some traveling, so even though I didn't go very far, I went from Ohio. I live in Northern California. Went to visit my in-laws. I feel a little jet lagged. I feel a little tired. I don't know. It's only 3 hours, but it can be tough sometimes. It was a great visit. I got to meet a bunch of my husband's family that I'd never met before. I got to revisit a lot of family that, of course, I had met before. So it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of names to remember, which is always a good exercise to try and remember multiple names over the course of a week. So hope you have had a good week as well. We have a returning guest today for the podcast. You may have listened to the previous episode that Catharine was on. Catharine Arnston is the CEO of Energy Bits, which is algae, which she'll talk about more later. If you want to know a little bit more before you listen to this episode, maybe you should go back and listen to the first episode she was on, because she gives a lot of background information and studies that were done on algae. This episode came about because in the first interview, my co-host Tate just popped in with a proposition, and hey, I'll do this if I'll take I'll eliminate all of my supplements, all of my vitamins, and I'll just take the algae for 30 days, and then we'll do a follow-up interview, and I'll tell you how it went. And that is what this interview is. So we really love talking with Catharine. She is a lot of fun. She's very knowledgeable. She's very passionate. So without further ado, let's go ahead and turn to Tate's and my interview with Catharine Arnston.
Catharine, welcome back to the podcast. It's wonderful to have you again.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I like these frequent flyer podcasts, so I come back for a second time.
It's nice because, I feel like I already know you a little bit.
Yeah, I know. So. It's like going back to camp and seeing the same characters.
That's right. We're fast friends.
Yes, exactly.
I call you family. She called you friends.
Right. Oh, well, I've already got stepped up with Andrew.
Yeah. So we are here to follow up after Tate made the kind of surprise announcement that he would like to try the Energy Bits for 30 days in replacement of his vitamins.
Yep.
And so, Tate, would you like to give us a little bit of an overview of how that went?
They're great.
Tell us how you took them, and how when you took them, and I'm sitting on the edge of my seat wondering what the and the judges say the winner is all yours.
So are you nervous?
I'm hoping. I feel like a mother whose child just went through the Olympics and we're waiting. They did a great performance, but we don't know how tough the Russian judge is going to be.
Okay. So first of all, I know you didn't hear me when I said they're green.
They're green, yes. So is your poop, right?
Yeah, that was a bit of a shocker. I must admit that part was very shocking. So for our audience, I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you know that you are taking spirulina and chlorel. You definitely know that.
Well, and I'll I'll just give you a little explanation. The reason for that is they're the highest concentration of chlorophyll in the world. Chlorophyll is very cleansing to your body, but only about 10% of it gets absorbed in your stomach, and the rest of it travels through your liver and down through your intestine and your gut. So it's healing your cells and cleaning them out on the way down. But of course, they go all the way down. So, whatever comes out is going to be green.
And that's a great lead-in, because as you're taking it, I'm someone who has a lot of digestive issues.
Yep.
And that was the first thing that I definitely noticed, was that my digestive issues definitely improved a lot, quite substantially.
Yeah.
Is that a normal thing?
Yes, that is normal. And in fact, they've used chlorella for decades to help with IBS and Crohn's disease for that very reason. Because it's a combination of the high chlorophyll, which is very cleansing, and the hard cellulose wall that attaches to toxins and cleans out any debris that may be still lingering there. But yes, it's often used also for just general digestion, because it helps populate your biome and your gut with healthy bacteria. In fact, spirulina, as I may have mentioned in the earlier podcast, is technically a bacteria. So it facilitates healthy bacteria, and then the chlorophyll is very cleansing, and then the chlorella is pulls out any toxins. So yes, it's been used for decades for that. So that's a really great point to make.
Now, and another thing that I noticed was when I started was the fact that I started out as a diabetic, and through diet and exercise, I've gotten my blood sugar to the point where the doctors have actually removed being a diabetic from my records, which is a heck of a compliment.
Wow.
But,
congratulations. That's fantastic.
Thank you very much. But one thing I did notice while checking my blood sugar with it was that my blood sugar, which is already still very good, was a lot more stable than even just from diet alone.
Right.
So I was very, very surprised on that as well. I don't want to make any false claims, but that was one of the things that I kind of noticed with it.
Yeah, we've gone to a lot of keto conferences and their therapeutic health conferences where people are testing their blood sugar, and so we have them test the blood sugar, then take either one of the algae, and afterwards their blood sugar is either the same or lower. And that's why Dr. D'Agostino and a lot of the keto community, they really embrace us, because it's ketogenic, so it does not decrease your ketones or increase your glucose. We also sponsored actually a diabetic cycling race last year through Napa Valley, and half of the team that we sponsored were diabetic, and at the end of the training period and the race they weren't. Also for that reason, the algae stabilizes or lowers your blood sugar, and so it's incredible for diabetics. You probably couldn't find a better food to put in your body. So I'm very excited to hear that.
I definitely noticed that. I was very impressed by that. Now, initially, when I first started, I kind of changed the way I took the medicine. So that's not medicine, it's the supplement.
Yeah.
And you may scold me on this.
Okay.
Okay. So I may be in trouble, audience here.
Feel free to just come through the kitchen.
So initially, I started. My normal workout is I get up in the morning. It could be as early as 3 a.m. and as late as, let's say, 6 or 7. And I go to the gym, and I tend to work out about 3 hours in the morning. And then I work out again in the afternoons. Lately, I've been doing more. I'll do an hour boxing training. I'll do kickboxing, and then I'll do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in the afternoons.
Wow.
I do a lot.
Yeah.
And when I started doing the training, I was expecting a bigger boost of energy, and I felt about the same. So I didn't get that big energy boost that I was looking at, and that we have talked about. That's not a bad thing as far as attacking your product or anything. It was just my opinion, and I started thinking about it, and I'm like, I kind of work out more than the normal person works out.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. If anyone gets an hour in, they're lucky.
Yes. So I changed my prescription without checking with you, and so this is the part you may scold me. So in the mornings, I would take 60 spirulina before workout.
Okay, sure.
And then 60 chlorella afterwards.
At the end of the day? Or?
No, after my workout.
Okay.
And that's when I found it to be very helpful, that I was able to sustain energy throughout my workout, and I was very pleased with that. And I chalked that up to the fact that maybe because I didn't get the same results that I was initially we were talking about, because I work out longer than the normal person does. So I doubled it, and that's when I started to feel the difference.
Right. Well, I'm not sure if you remember, I'm pretty sure I usually try to tell this to people. The energy that you get is not anything like a lightning bolt from the sky. There's no stimulants. There's no sugar. There's no caffeine. Right. So it isn't that kind of burst of energy. It's a very quiet energy. You just find that you don't fatigue and that you have more focus. And I'm glad that you did what you did. You absolutely, I would not scold you. I actually will applaud you for being so observant and clever to find out what works for you. Because, when we work with marathon runners or triathletes, we tell them to take 1 or 2 complete servings, which is exactly what you did before the race, because it's high intensity and a long period of time, like 3 hours.
Right.
And then we would also tell them to take more if they needed during the race, maybe like another packet or a half. So you have to remember that, and I am going to correct you, it's not a supplement. Algae are they're tablets. They're just dried. It's like a dried vegetable. So it's it's a whole food. People think it's a supplement, but it's actually not, because supplements are made in labs or manufacturing plants from artificial ingredients. And algae is like kale chips or raisins. It's just a food. But the trick is to observe what you need. We have NHL players that put 3 servings of spirulina in their smoothie before a game, 3. And then they do the same thing. They put 3 servings of the recovery bits, chlorella, after the game to pull out the toxins. But then we also have people that are anemic, and they take 2, like we're talking 30 or 90 tablets. If they take 2 tablets, because they're anemic, they find that they get energy. Your average person who is going to work out for an hour, we would recommend the full 30, but they may get energy from just 15 because of the nature of their body type or the type of workout that they're doing. So you're in that elite athlete category with the NHL players or the marathon triathletes, where you're working out very hard for a very long period of time. So you absolutely would need more. But the nice thing is, and I remind people that, taking the algae, especially the spirulina, it's the gift that keeps on giving, because not only are you getting energy for your workout, it has the highest concentration of protein in the world. So at the same time, you're starting to build your muscles, build your bones, satisfy your hunger, and get all the other nutrients that your body needs as part of the post-workout period. I was
going to say, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just saying, that was the part I was going to tell you, is that once I made that change, I did find that, instead of, once you get an hour and a half, 2 hours in your workout, it starts to drop off. Your energy starts to drop off. Once I got to doing 60 before, I was able to sustain energy all the way through my workout, which was a big thing. So much so that I loved it so much that I ended up just making that my breakfast. So my breakfast was 60 spirulina, then I do my workout, and then the 60 chlorella afterwards. And I was quite satisfied with that. I knew I was getting a lot of vitamins and nutrients, and I was getting a lot of protein. So I felt like it was like a great way to start your day. Yeah,
exactly. And you feel really clean. You don't get bloated. You're never feeling full. You're just feeling satisfied. And you're alert. A lot of people don't count on the fact that they're very alert. They're looking for the physical endurance and the strength, but what often surprises them is the alertness they get. So, but again, it's not from caffeine. It's just from the, B vitamins and the iron and the oxygen and the, the omega-3s. That's why I call it efficient nutrition.
Sorry to jump in here, but we do need to take our first break of the podcast. When we come back, more with Catharine Arnston. So stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast, and we'll be right back.
Still on the search of that one true love? On the limbo in this crazy world of dating, marriage, relationships? Well, listen to the Golden State Media Concepts Relationship Podcast, your one-stop podcast for everything about relationships.
The break, Catharine had mentioned that she sees energy and vitality bits as efficient nutrition. And also, you may have noticed that Tate did not answer her question. He is about to. So let's go ahead and get back to that interview.
I didn't really give you an answer on what I thought, but as a whole, I loved your product. Just being honest with you, I really did. And just going through and seeing how it totally changed the way I do my workout and how I feel through my workout. Like a heavy breakfast before your workout just doesn't really, I don't think it's conducive to working out long periods of time sometimes.
Yeah.
I feel sluggish.
Yeah.
I thought it put me in the right mindset and, the right energy level for a long morning workout. And
nice.
So I absolutely loved it.
No,
nice.
Tate, let me ask you a question. So you took the 60 in the morning and then the before your workout and the 60 after your workout. But What about your afternoon workouts? Did you do the same thing? You know what? Thank you for bringing that up. So this is the extreme. I started in my afternoon workout, which is later in the day. I would take again another 60 before the workout, and then another 60 chlorella afterwards. No wonder your poop was green.
You're getting close.
Go ahead, what were you gonna say?
You're getting close to the quantities that I eat every day.
So yes, I definitely I took a lot more than what was recommended. That's why I said I was concerned that you were going to get on me about that, but I just took it as because I work out 3 hours in the morning and 3 hours in the afternoon, that it was but my situation was a little different than others. Right.
Well, and also a lot of people, if they're on a ketogenic diet or sometimes when they're training for something, they have a special diet. It often leads to constipation. But the chlorella in particular stimulates peristalsis, and so it doesn't interfere. In fact, it improves all of that. You've got to have that good elimination to keep your energy up. Otherwise, it's really causes an energy drain on your body. Well, that's really great. I'm really happy that you did that without even hearing from me, and it's proof that you can take as much as you need. There is no upper limit because it's not a pill, because it's not a drug, because it's not a supplement. It's like you can't eat too much salad. You just take whatever is appropriate. Now, I also was interested in, because I think you said previously you were taking like 15 or 30 different supplements, and I believe you had mentioned that you were going to discontinue everything and just take the algae tablets. Did that happen?
What I did was I cut down. I did not do it 100%. I did stick with a multivitamin.
Yep.
And so that was one of the things that, because I do the ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
And I did 60 spirulina, 60 chlorella, and then a multivitamin, and that's it. So I really did. And before I was taking a lot.
Yeah.
So that's what everything I cut down. And that's the other thing. I didn't see a drop. Like once I got to the 60, I didn't really see a drop in my performance or the way I felt. I actually felt fantastic all the way through the test with you.
Nice.
Or with the product.
Nice. Well, and that again, that's a testament to the high nutrient value of both the algae. The quantities of each of these nutrients, whether they're a mineral or a vitamin, is smaller than what you're going to find in a vitamin. And the reason for that is that the supplements or the vitamins, because they're made from artificial ingredients, your body only absorbs about 5% of what's in there. So they have to jack up the numbers in order for you to absorb that 5% that might have a small impact. Although even I just finished reading a research study, which I can send to you, that basically did a big study, and they found out that supplements weren't making any difference in anybody's health or their longevity, period. But when you get your nutrients from food, because your body can absorb all the nutrients and all the cofactors and factors and enzymes and coenzymes. So now it becomes really efficient. The problem is our food supply is so damaged that even if you are eating organic vegetables, there's still very little vitamins and minerals in there because there's nothing left in the soils for the plants to pull up. So the algae, I tell people, is like our last shot at having proper nutrition because it's so concentrated and it's organic and all that sort of stuff. So it's a great replacement, whole food replacement for many of your vitamins, and it simplifies things. And by the way, you'll end up ultimately saving money because you won't be shelling out money for fish oil or, magnesium or calcium or all that sort of jazz. So really great to hear that. Now, did you also notice that you were eating fewer snacks because the high protein improved your satiety?
Now, see, I don't normally eat snacks
Okay.
Just because I was kind of a big boy before, and, I told you how I had lost like 130 pounds, so I try to avoid snacks sometimes. Yeah. But now that you bring that up, I did notice a change in my appetite as well. And to change the subject just a little bit, a friend of mine, her name is Karen. She's in amazing shape. She's 60 years old. So I told her about it, and so she started to do the same thing, but she started doing 30 in the morning, 30 at the after the workout, chlorella afterwards. And she was very happy with it as well. The only question that she had was she just asked me, about 45 minutes ago or half hour ago was, can she take the chlorella and spirulina at the same time?
Yes.
And I told her I would ask you that. And it's a great question for on air.
Well, I could have answered that because I have the Vitality Bits, which are the two together.
That's true. There you go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a little slow. That never crossed my mind.
Well, then I must be even slower because I've never come up with that as the answer either. I've always told people they can take them together or separately, but I've never thought to point out that we have Vitality Bits, which is a blend of the two of them. The only difference I will mention is that the chlorella, because it has a hard cellulose wall, takes about an hour and a half to get fully absorbed. Whereas the spirulina, which is a bacteria and has no cellulose wall, it gets absorbed almost instantly. So in fact, some of our hockey players, some of them do prefer to take both of them at the same time before their game because they know that the chlorella takes longer to kick in. So they wanted to start kicking in while they're still on the ice. So they do take it with the spirulina before the game. So it really depends on how you like to do your workouts. Do you like to have everything, have your pre-workout and then your separate post-workout? But you could take the two of them at the same time, knowing that the chlorella will take a good hour and a bit to totally kick in to get rid of that lactic acid.
I like the fact that, when I made it as in like a meal replacement, I liked how I could take it before my workout, and then when I came home, a lot of times you're super hungry after you work out.
Right.
And to be able to I took 60 chlorella afterwards. The great thing about it was actually filling. It didn't make me, I wasn't super hungry afterwards because I had something in my stomach. And after your workout, it's good to get a high protein food in your system. So I was getting high protein. I was getting a lot of vitamins and nutrients right after my workout. So I thought it was the perfect thing to take after your workout.
Yeah. So you feel that satisfaction. Now I'm just curious, were you swallowing or chewing?
I'm gonna say it in a bad way. I'm like, I was a swallower.
Okay,
the chewing.
That's okay.
I watched Sarah chew, and I was like, I am a no joy on that one.
There's no shame in that. There's no shame in that. I chew mine, and I just wanted to mention that because you were talking about how it's so nice to have something in your stomach after your workout. So if anyone does want to experiment, I will admit there's not much you can do to make the spirulina taste much better. That's the energy bits. But the chlorella, if you want to experiment with adding it some sea salt to it, or some almonds, or even better, the best is the macadamia nuts. Now you're having your post-workout snack that's going to pull out that lactic acid and actually taste good. So and someone asked me the other day what the proportion would be. So it would be like maybe 6-1. So every 6 chlorella tablets, 1 macadamia nut. So you don't need a lot of macadamians, but the fat from the macadamia mixed with the chlorella flavor almost tastes like potato chips. So it's very joyful.
Now, I will say that I did eat, and mine, again, you sent me the Vitality bits to try, so I was doing both. But I did eat them with mixed nuts. And I enjoyed that quite a bit. I mean, I didn't really notice the chlorella, I didn't think they had much of a taste when I tried them just by themselves anyway. Yeah. My thing was all the green that got stuck in my teeth, but the nuts helped with that.
I felt like I was terrified that I was going to have a mouth like Kermit the Frog. I'm like, no way.
Well, I will.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that the ones that stick to your teeth is the spirulina. And the reason why it's sticky is because it has the highest concentration of protein in the world and a very high amount of essential fatty acids, omega-3 and something called GLA, so it's really, really chewy. But the chlorella is really dry and tastes more like a soy nut or a sesame seed or sunflower seed. So it doesn't get stuck in your teeth. But because Sarah was having the blend, it still has 50% spirulina. So that's why it was getting a little stuck in your teeth.
Right.
It will swish out. But I promise you, if you have just the straight chlorella and you have it with macadamia nuts and some sea salt, it won't get stuck in your teeth, and it's delicious. I eat them all day long.
Now, Tate, I have a question for you because it's been longer than a month since we spoke to Catharine last.
Okay.
But because you were traveling.
Yes.
So did you take your spirulina and chlorella while you traveled, and how did that work out for you?
Okay, I took some while I was traveling, but because I was taking so many, I did run out, just being honest.
Yeah.
So, and I have not ordered yet, but I do plan on ordering again.
Okay. And again, for people who are listening, we sell the large bags with 1,000 tablets in them, so you can certainly travel with that. But a lot of people prefer the individual pouches. I can't remember which. I think we sent you the individual packets, which are terrific.
Yes,
Terrific for traveling because they're pre-measured. There's 30 in each little pouch. We currently don't sell those on our website. You can only get them from Amazon. But most people really, really like those single serving. And they just throw them in their carry-on or their handbag or their gym bag, and off you go. You don't have to measure anything. But the other thing if you do buy the bags, there's a little empty tin inside each bag so that you can fill up your tin. It holds about 2 servings. It holds about like 70 tablets, 60 or 70 tablets. So you can toss that in your gym bag and just fill it up every day. But yeah, if you bring enough of them with you, I know Dom D'Agostino, he loves them, and he says he has a full set of the algae tablets in his gym bag, in his travel bag, and at his office. So he's got like 3 stations.
I can definitely appreciate someone who has stations of things stashed. I'm the same way with scissors, of all things. I have one in my purse. I have one in every room of my house. I didn't think I had a scissor obsession, but once I say that, maybe I do. But maybe that'll be another episode. At any rate, we are going to take our second and final break of the podcast, and when we come back, the conclusion to our interview with Catharine Arnston. So stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast, and we'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be. Visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Welcome back to the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. Tate and I are having our second interview with Catharine Arnston, CEO of Energy Bits. And Tate and Catharine have been talking about Tate's experience with taking the algae, the energy and vitality bits. So let's go ahead and get back to that interview.
Tell me this. Here was a question that I had and that I was concerned about. It was more about making sure I was doing the right thing. On the bag, it tells you once open to keep everything in the refrigerator. But if you're, like the last gentleman you were talking about has one in his office, one in another location, one in another location, you can't keep that in a refrigerator.
Right.
How long is it good for outside a refrigerator?
Well, the only reason why we recommend that after you open the bag that you keep it in the refrigerator, because there are no preservatives and it's just a dried vegetable. And in case you are one of the people that like to chew it, it will just taste better if it's kept in the fridge. But and we are required by FDA regulations to put an expiry date on everything that we ship. But to be perfectly honest, it never goes bad. Never goes bad. You could have this stuff for 10 years and it will be fine. Algae is the most remarkable food crop. In fact, when it's growing, if the growing conditions deteriorate, it doesn't die. It just goes dormant. And they've recorded that it will go dormant up to 40 years and then it will start growing again. Any other crop, like corn or soy or wheat, if it stops, they don't get enough rain, they don't get enough sun, it just dies, but not algae.
I had a batch that I had measured out, and because I accidentally left it when I traveled, when I came back, I had left it on the counter and I threw it out because I thought it was bad because it wasn't left in the refrigerator.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That was a little misunderstanding. I'm glad you're telling me that now.
Yeah.
I'm glad the audience can hear that.
Exactly. The only thing we suggest is, we keep it in the fridge for the flavor, and also try to keep it in a container that keeps the sun out, because the sun will leach out the chlorophyll. Again, it won't go bad, but you just won't get the maximum benefit from it. And I'll tell you a little side story on that. There's a passage in the Bible where they talk about Jesus feeding the masses manna from heaven. They now think that he was scraping algae off the rocks, and it was just white because the sunlight pulled all the chlorophyll out of the algae, but the protein was still there, all the nutrients were still there, and it would satisfy your hunger. So it's pretty. The stuff goes way back. It's pretty crazy.
Very cool. Now, one thing I did do, because I love the little individual packets so much, was I bought little tiny Ziploc bags. I bought them on Amazon, and I would count out 60 in each one, and then I would just pack them up in the bags of 60, and then I stuck them in the refrigerator. And so when I would get up in the morning, I would just grab a bag, and I knew I had the serving sizes all marked out so that
Right.
When you get out of bed at 3 a.m., the last thing I'm thinking about is counting 60 tablets and 60 another of Chlorella and spirulina.
Right.
So I had it all done in advance.
Yeah,
so
good for you.
Grab and go.
Well, and I'll tell you two funny stories. When we first started, for the first 3 or 4 years, we used to make those single servings in those black Ziploc baggies and put a label on it by hand. That's how we got started. But
wow.
Yeah, but it kind of looked like drugs because there were these little blacks that we bought them from Uline, and we would stick a little sticker on them. But those little tins, the little round tins that are inside each bag, they hold about 60 to 65 tablets. So the easier thing you could do in the future if you buy a bag is just fill up a tin and you're good to go. You don't have to measure anything; just fill them up and you're done.
I agree with that, but I'm Mr. Regiment guy.
Okay.
So I would just say, take like 2 weeks supply and then divide it into 60 so that every day for 2 weeks I knew exactly what I was grabbing.
Exactly. Well, most people wouldn't take 60. In fact, we get most people horrified when we recommend that they take 30. And we sell them as already pre-measured little pouches for $4 each, with the 30 in them. So the other, frankly, easier thing to do would be to always buy your tablets in the pre-measured pouches, which you can get from Amazon. And instead of taking one, if you wanted 60, just take 2. But they're all sealed up and they're all pre-measured and there's no mess. So that's probably the easiest thing for traveling. That's why everybody likes them for traveling. Yeah.
Yes, and the individual package I thought were fantastic. They definitely made life a lot easier. Definitely when you're like, I do a lot of traveling for like going to the gym for work. So whenever I knew I wasn't going to be able to come back home to grab something, I would actually go ahead and just take one of those packages. I tried to be sparing with those packages.
Well, guess we should have sent you more. But anyways, I'm so glad that you did the experiment so that you could see that they do work. That and remember that every time you were taking it, you were giving your body very rich nutrition without any chemicals or toxins or pesticides. It benefits your body in so many ways, cleansing your liver, helping your mitochondria. So it's something that people should be doing every day, all the time. I was speaking to somebody the other day, and I mentioned how chlorophyll is so cleansing, and the chlorella has the highest concentration of chlorophyll in the world, 25 times more than even liquid chlorophyll. So I pointed out that, we all take showers in the morning to wash the dirt and whatever from our body every day. Well, taking chlorella every day is like giving your body a shower on the inside. And we need to be more cognizant of the need for that because we are just so surrounded by toxins and there's no getting around it. So you need to protect yourself. So while this was a great experiment for you to help you have a great workout and a great recovery, there are some endless benefits that you're also getting from both the algae, especially the chlorella for the cleansing perspective.
Now I have a story, kind of random. It's kind of random. I'll say that. I have a dog, and I know Tate has a dog as well. Yes. Our dogs love these things.
Absolutely love them.
Oh, I know.
They get more excited when they see the little green pill than they do when I have like a num-num for them.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you gave them some because we hear that all the time. We can hardly wait to start working with veterinarians because the dogs have the same health issues as humans. And they're smart. I mean, you can't fool the dogs. You can't fool the animals. They know what's really good for them. I'll tell you 2 funny stories. I had a young lady working for me a couple of years ago, and she had a small lap dog, and she put her bag of spirulina energy bits on the counter, and she'd previously given him a couple to try, and he loved them. Well, when she left this bag on the counter and went to work, she was horrified when she came home because the little tiny dog somehow had leapt up onto the kitchen counter and had ripped open the bag and eaten the entire bag. So this is like 1,000 tablets in a tiny dog that's about 8 inches long, right? And she called me panicking, wondering if he was going to die. And I said, no, he'll just throw up and maybe have some poop. But and that was exactly what happened. He was fine. So just goes to show you that little tiny thing could eat that entire bag and be okay. But that's how much he wanted to have that stuff. He found a way to leap up onto the counter to get access to it, which is amazing to me.
I did notice, but I started giving a few to my dog, and I thought, and this could be just me, and I could be wrong, but this is the vibe I got, is that it helped my dog's breath.
Yes, it's the chlorophyll. The chlorophyll, I'm not sure if there's anyone listening, but there used to be a gum called Chlorets from back in the 50s and 60s. And it was because it was the chlorophyll in the Chlorets that cleanses their breath. What it does is it cleanses their breath. We used to have a lot of dog walkers who used to buy it from us. Their coats will be shinier. Their eyes will be brighter. Their digestion will be better. They'll have more energy. It gives them all the other hundreds of other benefits that the humans have. So, but the breath freshening is definitely a big one.
So I wasn't crazy then.
Nope, not crazy at all. Not at all.
I'll just jump here and say, as much as I love Tate's dog, he does have stinky breath.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you another funny animal story. So we had this guy who went on a 2-week hike through the Appalachians, and he emailed me when he got back with a funny story. He said one night their camp was invaded by bears. So everybody scrambled to get out of the camp, and when they came back the next morning, the guy said he found his baggie with all his supplements intact, open, but all the supplements were there. But his bag of energy bits had been ripped open and licked clean.
Wow.
So even the bears know what's good for them.
You should use that as an endorsement, approve.
There you go. Yeah, we got some bear roaming around.
So good a bear will eat it.
Good even bears.
Yeah, right. Bear none.
Like I said, I cannot contest on how they just take a handful, and I literally would take like the 60 tablets in 2 handfuls and just swallow it whole.
And they're the easiest things to take.
Yes,
they're easier than any other pill I've ever taken.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty amazing. They're
design or just luck.
They're very, very tiny. Well, they do come in larger size, but I had read when I started the company that something like 10 or 20% of the population has a swallowing disorder. So I thought, well, if people don't like the flavor, I need to be sure they're small enough so that they can swallow them. So I did proactively select the smaller tablet. And also we call them bits because they're bits of food, and they're kind of cute. They're so tiny. And so if it's a big honking pill, it doesn't look very cute. And I don't think it'd be really, couldn't call them bits anymore. They certainly wouldn't be bits. It'd be, logs of food.
Yeah. So, they go down really easy. You can throw 20 or 30 in your mouth, and that's what I would do, and just take a drink, and I could swallow them all.
Yeah, they're very easy. And that's why as I said, the marathon runners, the triathletes, they just pop them back, and they love them because when you're in the middle of a workout, and you may attest to this as well, the last thing you want is something that's sweet, because it just doesn't, your taste buds, all your enzymes, everything's out there working on your muscles. So the fact that you can swallow these and not taste anything, and they go down really easy, and easy digestion is really, the athletes just really love them. We have people that take them with them on their hikes, even up through Nepal, because they're very lightweight. So you can carry a week's worth of nutrition in just a couple of pounds. And you could live on these forever. We don't recommend it, but they're a complete protein. The spirulina has the same amino acid profile as mother's breast milk. I'm the one that discovered that. So, it's which of course is nature's perfect food. So I consider algae nature's number 2 perfect food. So, so it's pretty cool. I'm so glad that you did the experiment, and because it
was my pleasure. It really, I've done things before, and it's like, I don't know about that. This one, I was very happy to do it. I was very pleased. I would truly, and I'm not saying that we're not getting paid to say this, so I can truly give you my opinion. Yeah. I would give it an A. I would definitely give it a solid A.
Nice. Well, thank you very much. And, we have a 20% discount code for people who want to buy anything on our website, which is energybits.com. The 20% discount code is GSMC. That's right. That's the code we gave your audience?
Oh, you know what? I should have told my friend Karen to order it and use our code. I didn't even think about that. That's right.
Yeah. Well,
I've told a number of people about it. Matter of fact, there's been people at the gym that I've told about it and things. I've been spreading the word. I just haven't been saying, hey, enter in GSMC.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. We want people to get a discount. So why it doesn't work on Amazon, unfortunately, but it does work on our website. So we're good. So, thanks again for trying it out. And I was sort of nervous just because I wanted to be sure it worked out for you. But I know what the product does. So, and we do have 50 professional athletes and Olympic athletes who endorse us, and we don't pay them either, and they buy their own algae. So, if an Olympic athlete has publicly said that we've helped them perform at their top of their game, the product works. So
now, were you nervous that I never told you what my thoughts were until we got on air?
Well, like I said, I know what it does, and the only reason it wouldn't work is if maybe if you weren't taking the right amounts. But you were clever enough, bravo, to figure out that you needed to change the dosage to meet your needs. And I just recommend this to everybody. Sometimes you want to dial it down and have maybe only 5 tablets because maybe that's all you need. Or you need to dial it up and have 2 or 3 times, which is what you needed and what some professional athletes that we work with need. It's all about understanding your own body and what works best for you. We just want to help people be at their best. So I'm very proud of you for figuring that.
It was an absolute pleasure.
Well, thank you. We'll have to get you some more so you can keep at least we don't leave you just cold.
And
hanging on a cliff.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't want you to hang on a cliff and not feel that energy. So we'll get some more to you later on next week.
You are the best.
I just wanted to say thank you so much for running with this when Tate suggested it the last time we spoke,
sure.
And for coming back. And
Sarah was completely shocked that I said that.
Well, I'm glad you did. See, it pays off to be spontaneous. It's sort of what happened with me starting this company. I wasn't planning on doing this. I just did it and I just went with it. So you got to do that sometimes, right? Listen to your little voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So just thank you so much. And, if we may have you back in the future.
Okay. We'll stay in touch. And again, if anybody wants to enjoy a 20% discount, just go to energybits.com. It was the Energy Bits that you were taking for your pre-workout because they're spirulina, and the recovery bits are chlorella that pull out toxins, and that's including lactic acid, and that's your post-workout. So anybody who wants to do the same thing, those would be your best options. And GSMC is what you need for the 20% discount. Fantastic. Well,
yes.
All right.
Thank you again.
We will we'll definitely have you back on again.
Okay.
At this point, yeah.
Anytime. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a great day.
Thank you once again to Catharine for joining us for a second interview. Tate and I really enjoy having her on the show. As I said at the beginning, she is very fun to talk to. She is very knowledgeable, clearly passionate about the work she is doing to, just get information out there about algae and its health benefits. She has lots and lots of research and lots of articles. If you want to learn more, you can, of course, go to the website. You can do your own research. You can try Energy Bits or Vitality Bits for yourself. Is it energy bits, vitality bits. What's the other one? I think I keep saying the vitality bits when I mean the other one, which I just blanked on. So anyway, spirulina and chlorella are the official names of them, and so many wonderful health benefits to algae. So thank you again so much to Catharine. Thank you, as always, to you, our listeners. We so appreciate you and hope you're having a great week. Please join us again next time for another episode of the GSMC Health and Wellness Podcast. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend and be well.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Health and Wellness Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.